What's going on, guys? Today I am bringing you my first place Numeron Guru deck that I piloted today at locals. I went 7-1 with this deck, only dropping one round in Swiss tournament early on. But this deck performed absolutely amazing. With the new Numeron support that just came out, it really gives Guru a chance to go second, which wasn't necessarily something that they had as an option before, other than maining 50 different hand traps to try and stop the meta. But now we have easy OTK setups as well as setups for our opponent's next turn with Zexal. So really quick, let's get into the profile. We'll start off with the main deck. Obviously, when we're playing Guru, we want to play Guru. So 3 Gurus, 3 Fiendus, and 1 Archer for our Subterra monsters. I think Archer is still mandatory even in this. Umastrix, too much of a brick. At least with Archer, you can still use a Fiendus if you hard draw both of these. As well as whenever you make Zexal, your opponent is going to have some big monsters to be able to out this, like a Block Dragon, or being able to summon Mech Knights even, or even a Pankratops. Being able to shuffle them back into the deck and having a way to do so and actually get over them is still really, really necessary in order to not trigger their effects. Same with stuff like Alter Guys like Meliseek, that came up a lot today. And again, Block Dragon, like I said. But as far as the Guru specific cards are, this lineup works out perfectly. For our Numeron engine, obviously we're playing 3 Wall, just immediately activates it from the deck as a quick effect, which can come up doing that on your opponent's turn, just making it to where they have to respect it next turn and know to play differently as a result of it. So a little bit of mind games involved in sometimes whenever you're playing this, but this came up really, really nicely. For hand traps, I'm playing 2 Ash and 3 Ogre. Again, you do have to respect the mirror match. Ogre just being able to stop the field spell and be able to stop their Numeron plays is really, really important. Ash is still super versatile. Is a really, really good card as well, being able to stop all the searches and things like that. We didn't main Nibiru in this deck. You can see it on the side right here, but just because I think for this tournament in particular, I was really trying to respect the Numeron stuff, and Nibiru is basically dead against it. They only summon 4 times, and after that they're screwed. The interesting interaction with Guru is being able to still set it after making your Zexal, and then Hidden City flipping it, not flip summoning it, so still able to do so. That's the synergy there. For spells, we're on 3 Extravagance. I know some players don't think that this card is good when you're playing Numeron. You'll see my extra deck build to where I think that playing Extravagance is still a really good card in this, just because the only time that it's bad is when you banish all 3 of your Zexals and then all 3 of one of the other number monsters. Otherwise, it's still perfectly live. And this came up all the time where I would Extravagance, it would be fine, be able to make Zexal or even OTK from there. Opponents have to respect, stopping this. Getting a draw 2 is absolutely huge. So even if for whatever reason, your stuff does get, banished, you banish all your Zexals and all of one of the numbers, you're still drawing into your Guru cards, which by itself can also win games. So they really have to respect this card, and will usually, if they have an Ash or something, negate this more so than anything else. Next, 3 Hidden City. Obviously, one of the best ways to search all of your Subterra cards, being able to flip Guru on turn 1 and get some additional pluses from there. From there, we're playing 3 of the Network and 2 of the Calling. Didn't want to max out on this. Hard drawing it isn't terrible when you open Network, just because then it can't be ogred. But didn't want to draw way too many of these, so I think 2 is perfectly fine. I was able to resolve this card, or I guess resolve the Numeron half of the deck multiple times in the same game by having 2. And again, even after going through Extravagance as well, it just works. Obviously, the 1 Terraforming to be able to search either your Numeron Network or your Hidden City. And then we are playing 3 Called by the Grave as well. Ogre stops your turn. And especially now that it's becoming more meta prevalent just to stop the Numerons, it can also stop your Hidden City when you use its second effect to try and flip monster face up, and then you're not going to be able to get your search off of Guru and have it face up for a Fiendus negate later in the turn. So I think this is absolutely mandatory going forward in order to stop any errant hand traps, even stopping Block Dragons or Rays or anything else in the grave too. I think it's a necessary addition to the deck now. For traps, we're only playing 2 Final Battle. I feel like 3 is a brick, 2 is perfectly fine. The third one has literally never come up. I like opening it, but I don't love opening it, and I definitely don't want to open multiple when I could be seeing stuff that's going to get me my Numeron or my other Guru cards. So we only played this at 2, which I think is perfectly fine. 3 there can be only once. So you might think there's a little bit of, I guess, conflict between this and some of the Numeron stuff. If you go first, you make Zexal and you set this, and then you win. Because if they try and, Numeron you as well, you just flip this whenever they summon out their monsters, and they can only get 1, and then you're fine. If you're going second, you usually just Numeron OTK anyway, and if you don't OTK for whatever reason, you make your Zexal after the fact, then set this. Again, when they try to do the same thing, it doesn't work. So still being able to play this is absolutely massive, and even if you don't draw the Numeron stuff and you only get the Guru stuff out of your hand, this is amazing in Guru just by itself, so I think still a welcome addition to the deck, and also a great option to side out as well whenever you're going second, because you're not going to need it. Next we play 3 Judgments, and then lastly 3 Imperms as well, just to round out the hand traps and the rest of the trap cards. In our extra deck, it's really simple. 3 Zexal, 3 number 1s, 3 number 2s, 2 number 3s, 3 number 4s, and then the 1 C1. There's no rhyme or reason to why we're playing only 2 of the 3. I just happen to only have 2. And I wanted to make space for C1 because this card does come up a lot. Let's say you're playing against Adamantipator, for example, and for whatever reason can't OTK through their board. You can always make this on top of C1 and just banish their whole field, which won't trigger their block dragon. Nukes their whole field, and then you start doing Guru stuff from there, and being able to set up for next turn. So I think it's definitely necessary at 1. Yeah, I banish it all the time off of Extravagance, but again, it's just a 1 of, and normally we're going for the OTK anyway. It's just there for very niche situations if it does come up. But it is useful, and it really does put in a lot of work. Onto the side deck. Obviously cater your side deck to what your locals is playing. Mine plays a lot of back row and a lot of rocks, and so I tailored it to that, but obviously do what makes the most sense for you. 3 Nibiru in the side. This could definitely still be in the main. I was playing it in the main before the Numeron build came out. A really interesting interaction with this that most people just think that Nibiru tributes all monsters on the field. It only tributes face up stuff. So if you're able to flip your Guru face down, or maybe you Guru flip your Zexal face down and then Nibiru them after the fact, let's say for whatever reason your Zexal got negated, right? It won't tribute your stuff, which is massive. So being able to do that, again, if you only draw your Guru side of the deck and being able to distribute everything that they've got is absolutely massive. Stops a lot of plays. Obviously with rocks, they have a little bit of an easier time playing through it, but that's why we main so many other routes to be able to try and, stop all their interruptions. 3 Lancias as well. This is really good for the Invoked Eldritch matchup, or just Eldritch in general. Not being able to banish their cards means they're not going to get all the recursion that they want. So if you can go for an OTK next turn with the Numeron stuff and you get this, then you're set for life. 3 Lightning Storms for, again, pesky back row stuff, the Altergeist matchup, the Eldritch matchup if you really want to. It just outs big problem cards. Same with Dark Ruler no more, especially if you're going against a big heavy negate board with Adamantipator's. Being able to stop them, activate your calling, or Numeron Network, go into calling, and set up, and be able to just swing through a bunch of stuff before making Zexal, you're going to be in a really good position. And then lastly, I played 3 Evenly Match. Pairing this with Dark Ruler no more means you basically win the game, no matter what, depending on what depending on the matchup, right? But really, really good card. You can tell that we mostly side, well, not mostly, we only really side for going second. The thing about Guru is you don't necessarily want that deck to go first. It's a spell and trap deck at the end of the day. And being able to set up a bunch of negates before your opponent has a chance to interact with, cards like There Can Be Only One, Solemn Judgments, and things like that, your opponent's not going to want you to go first. The thing that Numeron gave Eldritch that gave Guru is the ability to go second, which it desperately needed. So your opponent's not going to want you to go first anyway. So we play just a bunch of stuff for going second for whatever the matchup dictates. and being able to go from there. But yeah, like I said, guys, I went 7-1 with this deck, the first time testing it out in tournaments. I'll have my matchups here on the screen right now so you can see exactly what I played against and hopefully what my records were if I can remember them all. But yeah, we definitely want to do some more testing with this. I think we're going to try it with the Eldritch engine as well and see how that works out. If you guys like this kind of content and want to see more of the Numeron testing or really just deck profiles in general, be sure to like and subscribe for the channel so you can see more of what we have to offer. We also stream on Twitch every couple of days or so, which you can follow in the link down in the description as well. So yeah, this has been our first place Guru Numeron deck list. It was a lot of fun to play, and hopefully we can play some more of it. But yeah, guys, that's it for this one. I'll see you in the next.